I get uncomfortable when Mike is positive. Well, prepare for me to be a little bit positive, a lot of bit positive, probably. Um, we're going to talk about the Evocati tech preview. I'm going to make a caveat here. The tech preview started out horrendously. Constant server error. The notes were wrong about a specific thing. It was horrendous. Like, unplayable for me. Some of the guys in my Discord were playing. I noticed one thing that hyped me up. I'm going to harp on that the entire time that we talk about this. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go to bed. I'm sure the servers will be better if I wake up really early in the morning. I set my alarm for 4 a.m. and I'll play it then before the stream, and then we could talk about it. That's exactly what I did. The servers were a lot better. So here we are. We're going to take a look at the notes on Reddit. I'm 99% sure I could just show the Evocati notes because that's what I was told I can do a long time ago, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just do the leaked ones that are on Reddit. They're verbatim exactly the same, apparently. Okay. So under crafting changes, they did a material distribution overhaul. There's been a large update to the distribution of ship and FPS minables with the goal of making it easier to find a particular resource, particularly for ship minables. This is the second biggest thing, and I have a notepad full of stuff to talk to you about that specific sentence. Very cool stuff there. But let's start out with the two best things that are combined together. For ship minables, all rocks are now one resource plus inert material. This is something that we heard CitizenCon 2024 talked about. It was something that was like, oh, that's really great. If you are not a miner and you haven't or if you don't mine, nobody in Star Citizen's a miner. The average age is like 65. The thing about mining right now that's really, really annoying is you might be looking for Quantanium, let's say, for Polaris bits. But what comes with Quantanium, the extra material, because Quantanium is the rare material that's in there, the not rare material, which is a guarantee will always be with it, because Quantanium will never be alone in the current system, really dictates how hard it is to mine that rock, how much Quantanium's there. It never really made sense. It was really stupid. It was a nice idea, I guess, at the time, but in practice, it's horrible. So they decided that they're going to go with just one material. Now, what is the biggest pain point with mining? I'm gonna put this to the chat and see what you guys say. What is the biggest pain point for you
Look at it shine.
with mining? I'm muting you and your sounds. What is the biggest pain point with mining for you guys? Let's see. Scanning all the stuff, pinging and scanning, looking for rocks. All the first number of messages there, like 3 of them, was the problem. Guess what happens now? This is the best thing I've seen from this patch. Praise, and they're only able to do this because of this one resource thing. When you scan, number one, you got to memorize the distances. If something pings and it pops up at like 28 kilometers, it's a ship mineable. So if you're in a prospector, that's what you're looking for. If you ping it, it's closer. It's usually like baridum, phalamine, aphorite, that kind of stuff. So that's number one, but we've known that for a while. That it's just the new distances that you have to memorize. But because there's one rock, it doesn't say what were they called before? Oh, there was all different names for rocks, like gneiss and granite, obsidian, yeah, all those weird names. Poof. Those names are gone. It will now, so now when you ping and you get close enough for it to say the name on it, it will now say iron. It will now say Quantanium. It will now say beryl. It will now say the rock, the mineral that you're mining. So you're saving. Scanning and pinging is still honestly not awesome, but this saves you so much time because all of the rocks in a group are the same. All of the rocks in a group are always the same. And you know what you're looking for. So if you're not looking for iron and iron popped up, skip, go to the next one. Right? Yeah, geologists in the community are going to be rioting 100%. Let me tell you something. I talk a lot about what I like about Eve. There's something with Eve mining that is horrible. Same with asteroids. I didn't get to do asteroids, and you'll know why. I very much was testing the first sentence that we'll talk about in just a second. I'll get to asteroids tonight, tomorrow, something like that. Yeah, the rock clusters have various qualities in them, but it's the same material, which is really, really nice. So if you're trying to mine quantanium and make quantum fuel, you just mine all the rocks. You know what I mean? For the most part. I don't know where it says it here, but the one resource plus inert, they said there's way more inert than they want to be in there right now. And it's true. Most of the rocks that came across was like, the 10% of the material and the rest was inert. Wasn't a great experience. They're going to make some changes to that. Now let's talk quickly about what I didn't like about Eve. Eve will say, hey, mine this Velspar rock. And then when you refine Velspar, it turns into the material that you actually craft with. But then as you get into the deeper and deeper minerals in Eve, there'll be like 3 different metals or crafting materials inside those rocks, and you have to memorize these names and know what is in them. It's a really awkward and weird experience, and I don't like it. I hate it, as a matter of fact. I think it's really, really silly, and it sucks. If I want to go out and mine for a certain thing, I should scan for that thing, and I should go mine it. Right? I feel like that's a better, easier experience. And I know Eve's done a lot of work in the recent months trying to improve mining, and they have, but those names like obsidian and all those, the type of rock, and then there's, little bits of gold in those rocks, and then you refine it down. That's what Robert Space Industries was going for as well, because that's actually what happens in the real world. In this case, they went, oh, that's right. We're a video game. We want to make this simple. The scanning part is really, really annoying. Like in EVE Online, you could just travel right to the rock, so it's really not hard to find what you're looking for, where in Star Citizen it is. So making that a little bit easier was an awesome experience. So they said across the board, the amount of SCU of resources within the rocks has been reduced. Definitely has. I was out mining for a really long time. Did not fill a prospector. As a general rule for ship minables, the more valuable the resource, the smaller the SCU size. I definitely saw that as well as we went up the ladder. It was harder to get stuff. Janolite has been added to the surface of some planets and moons. I did look for it, never found any, but I believe that they will be there. Mineable locations have been updated on the planet and moon star map records. Okay, I didn't notice this in the notes. This is related to this. Let's talk about that. This is the second biggest update. So if you look at live and you go down the list of what ores are on what planets and what moons, it literally lists them all for the most part, outside of the Pyro exclusive resources in Pyro, for the most part. That has changed completely. And that's where I get my notes out. In Pyro, I checked, not everywhere. I checked a few places. I checked Terminus, and then the 4 or 5 moons around Pyro 5. And I checked Bloom. Terminus has ice. That's the only... I only wrote ice. I'm sure it has more than that. But I wrote ice. Because there was no ice at any of these other places, I guess, because it was hot. Fuego has only 4 materials on the surface. That's it. Hephaestonite, Aslarite, which is used to make armor, Boraz and Bexelite, Adir, iron, tungsten, Boraz, and Rhycite, Vatra, iron, silicon, gold, and Rhycite, Ignis, tin, silicon, gold, and rhyolite. Pyro, silicon, tungsten, gold, and bexylite. Bloom, quartz, borez, rhyolite, and stellaron. Okay? Mineable locations have been updated to the star map. There goes exploration gameplay again. Dude, stop. Just stop. Then I went to Stanton. It was never exploration gameplay in the first place. It never existed. Okay. Then I went to Stanton. Walla and Lyria. Walla, iron, laranite, beryl, and quant. So laranite was not on any of those planets in Pyro, was it? Nope. Lyria, iron, copper, laranite, quant. Quant is in every location in Stanton. I think. Nearly every one. Hurston, aluminum, tin, orotite. Not sure what that does because I didn't see it on any crafting recipes that I looked at. Quantanium. Ariel, aluminum, tin, hephaestonite, corundum, orotite, quantanium. Aberdeen, aluminum, titanium, orotite, and quant. So orotite seems to be a Hurston exclusive. Magna, aluminum, titanium, aslerite. So an aslerite in Stanton, quantanium. And then Ida, aluminum, tin, aslerite, and quantanium. Microtech had iron, ice, because it's cold, quantanium, and hephaestonite. Clio had ice, copper, terranite, and quantanium. Euterpe had the exact same thing as Clio. Calliope had ice, hephaestonite, and quantanium, just 3. Damar, quartz, agricium, silicon, quantanium, and titanium. Selin, quartz, agricium, terranite, and quantanium. So quartz seems to be the exclusive around Orison or whatever. Yella, quartz, agricium, terranite, silicon, and quantanium. And that was all I looked at. So now, very cool. So now you will soon memorize, like, hey, I'm looking for rice. I mean, this was a thing anyway. And by the way, the map doesn't show the obvious ones that are in Nyx, which is the 3 Nyx materials that are in the belt. And I'm sure once we get planets, we'll know more and stuff like that. So remember when they did these star map records and they felt kind of pointless? They're no longer pointless because now they're useful. And you go, hey, I want to craft this thing. I need this material. I want the highest quality material. Let's see if it's in Pyro. Oh, it's in Pyro. I'm going to go to that moon. This also gives, Google Sheets or, there'll be sheets and stuff like that. You're going to use Regolith will have this all laid out for you. Now, the records are on the star map. So when you click on the planet, you'll see these records. For this test, the set values of the materials have not been adjusted. The sale values of the materials have not been adjusted. Who cares? Ground vehicle mineable distributions are the same outside of adding Genolite to the planets. Please note, of course, this is not final. Mineable distribution will be changed with Planetech V5 later down the line, which we know will be biome based. But regardless, this is a nice change for now because it makes it so I'm looking for a specific thing. I know where to go, right? Now, material quality adjustments. This is another one. This is the next thing I want to talk about. Probably the third best thing. The chance of finding high quality materials has been reduced. In the first test, I was finding 900 to 1,000 quality easily. The best I found was 700 plus. Chachi, thank you for the raid. I'm just going over the playtest here. So I'll thank you properly in a moment. Pyro has increased the chance of higher quality materials. I found that high quality material in Pyro. The best I saw was somebody else had 500 plus in Stanton. The best I saw was 400 in Stanton in my limited, looking through it. So very cool. Previous tests had much higher chances of finding high quality materials due to its limited time frame and desire to test items with high quality stats. These new values are to gather data on the frequency in which high quality mineable is found in every X cluster, which is different with different chance values set for ship minables and FPS minables. I'll say this: I mined a number of FPS minables. I could not see the quality of any of them. in my inventory. The new inventory system, this was my first real go at it. I hate it. Pages versus scrolling. All the icons load in incredibly slow. The information I actually need was not there. And yeah, I'm not a fan of it so far. Obviously, it has a bit of time to go, and it's going to be worked on for the end till the end of time. But as of right now, it did not feel good for this specific test. So they obviously have a ton of time, but yeah. The icon still loaded in slowly, which was just wasn't the purpose of this for that not to happen? Can we just be better on that? But I will say, for a positive for that, anything I tried to put on my character, snap went to them instantly, which is not always the case. Okay. Minimum quality requirements. This is not something, again, I did not craft in the crafting playtest. So we'll go over this briefly, and I'll get back to some of the good stuff that I experienced. Minimum quality requirement has been added to a very limited set, number of recipes, namely the protective sheathing slot on the Antium armor set. For release, minimum quality requirements will be common in many blueprints. So then what do we do with the low quality stuff, I wonder? Should be interesting. Because there's lots of low quality. We're talking about double-digit quality stuff. A lot of it in Stanton. Material quality info displayed on Tractor Beam UI. Since I didn't refine it, I didn't get to see this yet, but I'm sure it works and looks cool because nobody said it didn't. When using a Tractor Beam to interact with a commodity or mine gem, you can now see the most common material within that box, the volume that the material takes up in that box, the average quality of this material within that box, the counter of how many other materials are within the box. This should help with when moving commodity boxes around. Holy, that's amazing. A note on this, since concerns were raised previously, a new refining flow in later releases will introduce uses for low-quality materials within the crafting loop. Okay, cool. I missed that. But yeah, Torsten addressed it in SCL, so I was going to talk about it in a minute. But cool. They actually addressed it in the notes. Crafting stat balance. Crafting stats of FPS weapons and armor have been reduced following the results of the previous test. The previous test, guns got really strong. These values are not final. We're using these tech preview tests to see where on the power scale we'd like for these items to be on release. Removal of ship weapons. They removed them from my ships, so we'll talk about that in just a second as well. Ship weapons have unfortunately been removed from the first release of crafting due to ongoing work to correctly carry over crafted stats when claiming a ship. So we were able to craft ship weapons in the first playtest. You are no longer able to, and it sounds like you are not going to on the release of 4.7, which is very unfortunate because that was probably the most meaningful of the crafting we would be doing. In the end, it is what it is. For this test, some items acquired in the game, which have crafting blueprints, can now be dismantled, even if they were spawned via loot boxes or on NPCs, etc. However, for now, returning materials are limited to be 200 quality, so not good quality. Please note that since crafting blueprints for this test are currently just limited to the base variant of items, ones that don't have tints, currently those are the only ones which can be dismantled. Okay. Mission rewards and blueprint complexity. Guys, we had the first mission that gave a reward. It was a stupid mission, and it was a crazy good reward for that mission. But it worked. As part of this test, we've enabled a limited set of blueprints, Volt weapons, and the Antium armor set to be rewarded via the first Gilly mission. Combat Gauntlet Scenario 1 found around Hurston. So I used a Prospector because I was like, oh, it's Combat Gauntlet 1. My ship will be able to kill those ships. My guns didn't work. But the ships were dumb enough to either fly into an asteroid or the station that I went to had turrets, and the turrets shot those ships. So I didn't have to do anything. The mission completed, but it took a really long time to complete. And I got the blueprints, and it worked. And they were on my blueprint crafter, which was cool. Toggle options have been added to filter blueprints to show only those you're able to craft, which is cool. Since some blueprints have multiple choices, there's also a filter which displays items that you might be able to craft, as you have some of the materials, but you don't have all the options available to you. UI adjustments, there's some additional UI. While you won't see major changes from the previous test, the adjustments will be ongoing as we progress to final art. And then there's a bunch of inventory changes. They've been moved. Ground loot. I didn't do any of this stuff, so I'm not really sure on much of it. Okay. Let's go. I just want to talk about the stuff that I have experienced that I think is really cool and I think you would like. Number one, we got blueprints from a mission. That's awesome. That kind of tells us that all of the missions that you feel are boring and stupid and there's no point in doing them, one day, hopefully very soon, there might be an option. There might be a reason to be doing those. Going to Pyro is now a thing because the quality is definitely better there on average. Definitely better. So that's fantastic, and that's going to play a huge role. The mineable locations was amazing. Now I know where to go when I'm looking for ice. It's really easy. If I know where I need to go for ice. The big thing that was missing here is there's lots of asteroid belts. Yes, Fran. Also max possible quality. I imagine you can get a max possible in Stanton, but yeah. It seemed like people were getting some high quality stuff, so maybe it's possible, but extremely rare. Adding janolite to the surface of planets and making it less rare. I don't know how I feel about that. Probably a good thing, but it's a thing that we'll see. The one rock is massive, and then even better that they put it into one, like all in one cluster. Clusters aren't filled with a bunch of different rocks. So the one thing I've been calling out for years and years and years is when I mine, I want to mine. So the quality part kind of sucks with this, but when I mine, I just want to mine. I don't want to be scanning for hours. And when I find rocks, I want to stay in that place and I want to mine those rocks for a long time. I want reasons to drop my bags and add new ones and have somebody pick it up and stay in that spot. You know, kind of set up a little mining operation on this group of rocks. That's always been a thing I've wanted to do. Is that going to happen? It doesn't look like it currently, because of the really low quality of some materials and the decent quality of others, but it's getting closer, and that's really cool. So yeah, I like that. I like that. And I just went out and I just scanned for rocks and I mined for like 2 hours this morning. And it felt amazing. I didn't need to craft. I didn't care to craft. I was fine. I was fine just being a miner. So is the crafting update the crafting update? I don't think it is for me. The crafting update is almost just making sure that crafting will work a little bit, and maybe they're going to be able to distribute a few minables or whatever. So craft a few like small things. Sorry, I was getting distracted by somebody just being extremely annoying in the chat, so I just timed him out. I just felt good. This is the mining update. This isn't the salvage update for me, or the crafting update. This is the mining update, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine. I think that's awesome. Telling you where stuff is, spreading, not having it be this like blanket spread out and it's just complete RNG for everything. going to a certain place and looking for a certain item. And then the more common materials, you're coming across those common materials all the time. I did not find any Quantanium in Stanton. I didn't find any Rhycite and Pyro. I didn't find any of the rare stuff. I only found the common stuff. So it's hard to find the rare stuff still. It feels good, right? And crafting, we'll see. We'll see how it is, and it might be fun. It might not be. They did not add anything to crafting. They took a thing away. They took the ship weapons away, and for a viable reason. So, yeah, this is a huge update. No, there's no refining changes as far as I'm aware. I did not do refining, though. I only had limited time this morning due to the instability of the patch last night. I took a little nap, woke up at 4 a.m. before the stream today, which started at 6:30. So I did 2.5 hours real quick, but it took me about half an hour to like get up and eat breakfast and then start playing. So I got about 2 hours in there. So all I got in was mining, and this is the best update for mining I've seen yet. So when you find a Quantanium group, you're going to find a Quantanium group, right? You're not going to find one Quantanium rock worth mining. You're going to find Quantanium. If you find Rhycite, you're going to find Rhycite. And yeah, no indication of when this will go wave 1. Hopefully it does soon. I don't see any reason not to. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Outside of the inventory. The inventory is extremely bare bones, ugly, not performant in at least in showing the icons, so I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time. I hate the page system, and it's got a few extra bells and whistles from before, but it's basically the same thing. So for me, this isn't the crafting update. This isn't the inventory update. This is the mining update, and it is a fantastic one. Very excited for mining to play a bigger role. Crafting will make mining viable, and then all the changes they made to mining make it actually fun. Will they make crafting fun in this first update? Maybe a little bit, but that's going to take a lot more time to really feel meaningful in the game when you're doing ship components, ship weapons. FPS just isn't that Star Citizen strong suit right now. It's definitely a ship combat, whether it's PvE or PvP. So giving people and crafting stuff for people for that is going to be so much more meaningful. So when we get there, I think that'll be the crafting update. But right now, this is like, this is the mining update, and it's good.